Every year, millions of people experience a heart attack. It's one of those medical emergencies where the clock starts ticking instantly. Winning that race against time can literally be the difference between life and death. But what if we could see it coming? What if we could predict it before the race even starts? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So what is actually happening inside your body during a heart attack? It all starts in the coronary arteries, those tiny but super important vessels that feed your heart muscle with blood. Over the years, plaque can build up, and if a piece of it breaks open, a blood clot can form, creating a complete roadblock. And when that happens, a part of the heart muscle gets starved of oxygen, and it starts to die.
The official medical term for this is a myocardial infarction, or just MI for short. It sounds complicated, but if you break it down, myo means muscle, cardial means heart, and infarction is just tissue death from no oxygen. And here's the part that's so scary. Once those heart muscle cells are gone, they're gone for good. They don't grow back. You just get scar tissue, which can weaken the heart forever.
So getting that diagnosis and getting it fast is absolutely everything. But spotting a heart attack quickly and accurately, well, that has its own set of problems. And that brings us to the really wild question we're asking today. What if the key to winning this race isn't a person at all, but an algorithm?
To really get why AI could be such a complete game changer here, we first need to understand the dilemma doctors are facing every single day.
The number one tool in the toolbox is the electrocardiogram, or ECG. You've probably seen them. It's a simple test that basically prints out a map of your heart's electrical signals. A heart attack messes with those signals, creating weird patterns that a trained expert can see. But, and this is a big but, that's where the challenge really starts. See, reading an ECG is a real skill. It takes a ton of expertise. And even then, two different doctors might see two different things. In the middle of a chaotic emergency room, it takes time. And let's be honest, it's open to human error, or only human. What's really needed is a system that's lightning fast, always consistent, and incredibly accurate. And that is exactly where artificial intelligence steps into the ring. Researchers are now training AI models to read these super complex electrical signals, hoping to automate the whole process and maybe, just maybe, revolutionize how we find heart attacks.
And this isn't just some far-off idea. The research is absolutely booming. Scientists are basically using two main flavors of AI, the more traditional machine learning, or ML, and the newer kid on the block, deep learning, or DL. Right now, it's almost a 50-50 split in the research papers, with deep learning just starting to pull ahead.
And when I say pulling ahead, I mean the momentum is just incredible. Look at this. In 2017, there were only 2 research papers published on this. By 2019, it tripled to 6. But then, boom, in 2021, it jumped to 17 papers. That's not just growth, that's an explosion. It tells you the scientific community thinks deep learning could be the key. So what is the actual difference between these two? Let's take a quick look at the 2 main ways AI is being taught to read a person's heart.
The easiest way to think about it is this. Machine learning is like a trained assistant. A human expert has to go in first and tell it exactly what to look for. Like, hey, pay attention to the height of this specific wave, or measure the time between these 2 points. Deep learning, though, it's more like a self-taught expert. You just give it thousands of raw ECGs, and it figures out the important patterns all by itself.
This makes it really clear. On the left, with machine learning, you see that extra step in the middle? That's the human expert, manually pulling out all the important features. But now look at the right side. With deep learning, that middle step is just gone. It takes the raw signal and goes straight to the answer. It's a much more seamless, automated process. Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing in theory. The self-taught expert seems way more powerful, right? But when we're talking about saving lives, there's really only one question that matters. How well does this stuff actually work?
Well, get ready for this, because the results are staggering. The best deep learning model they looked at achieved an accuracy of 99.95%. Let that sink in. That is near perfect detection.
And digging in a little deeper, we see the top deep learning model did hit that almost perfect mark. But look at the best machine learning model. It was right on its heels at an incredible 99.90%. So the real takeaway here is that both of these approaches are reaching a level of accuracy that is, quite frankly, superhuman.
So you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. If this technology is that accurate in the lab, why isn't it in every hospital or, even better, on your smartwatch right now? Well, to answer that, we have to look at the hurdles between the research and our reality.
There are a few big ones. First, these deep learning models are power hungry. They need a ton of computer power to run. Second, to get this smart, they need to be trained on massive, and I mean massive, amounts of data. And maybe the biggest hurdle of all is the human one. You have to earn the trust of doctors and nurses who are rightly very careful about new tech when lives are on the line.
A huge piece of the solution, something the researchers themselves point out, is the cloud. Think about it. Instead of needing a supercomputer in every clinic, a small device can just send the data to a powerful AI in the cloud for analysis. Making that connection seamless is really the next big stepping stone.
And this is what that future could look like. Just imagine your smartwatch is monitoring your heart in real time. That data is streaming to the cloud, where this powerful AI is on watch 24/7. And the moment it detects the very earliest signs of trouble, it instantly alerts you, your doctor, and maybe even first responders. It turns a reactive emergency into a proactive intervention. This technology is moving out of the lab and into the real world at an incredible speed. It's promising a future where a heart attack isn't just something we treat, but something we can actually predict before it ever happens. Which leaves us with one last big question. When an AI can read your heart with near-perfect accuracy, what else is it going to tell you?